What goals have you set for yourself? And number one, I would like to be the all-time receiver.
Jerry Rice! Oh, what a catch by Rice! Touchdown! Number 80, Jerry Rice!
How does a small school kid from Mississippi turn into the most dominant receiver in NFL history?
Jerry Rice stands all alone as number 1 in pro football history in touchdown reception.
Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment, because today we're tracing Jerry Rice's insane journey from overlooked college prospect to the guy whose records look untouchable. We'll break down his upbringing, the drills and habits that made him surgical, the key plays and seasons, the coaches and teammates who mattered, and the controversies, comebacks, and numbers that define his legacy. Stick around. The tape tells the story better than the hype. Now, let's get into it. Jerry Rice was born October 13, 1962, in Starkville, Mississippi, but he grew up in a working family in the Bay Area where sports were everything.
I think growing up in Crawford, Mississippi is just like all family. Everybody, they were very close.
In high school, he played football, basketball, and ran track, multi-sport reps that sharpened footwork, timing, and hand-eye coordination.
That hunger, that desire to want to be successful, and I was not gonna let anything stand in my way.
Coaches from his youth talk about a kid who kept asking for more, extra routes, extra film, extra reps after practice while others went home.
I remember practicing this over and over and over until it's almost like you doing a dance.
That hunger matters because Rice wasn't the top measurables prospect. He didn't run the fastest 40 or post eye-popping combine numbers. He developed technique and habits that scouts only see after digging into tape. Choosing Mississippi Valley State was a risk because it meant facing smaller competition, but it also gave him volume, targets, reps, and the chance to run every route in an offense built to feed him. High school coaches and early teammates mentioned his obsession with angles, toe placement on sideline catches, and how he practiced hand positioning with tennis balls. Those micro habits built muscle memory. People often simplify great careers as talent alone. With Rice, it was talent plus relentless, repeatable work. Small school background made the scouting path harder, but it also let him refine craft without the noise. That early grind explains why, when scouts finally watched extended film, they saw not just numbers, but a receiver who ran routes like a technician and competed like a man possessed.
Back to throw, looks for Jerry. He's behind the defender. He's got it at the 25 to the 20 to the 15 to the 10. He'll score easily. Touchdown 49ers. Rice to the 45. He's to the 50. He breaks through. He's down to the 30. Down to the 20.
At Mississippi Valley State under coach Archie Cooley, Jerry Rice stopped being an under-the-radar athlete and started exploding on every highlight reel available at the time.
In high school, Jerry played for Moore Mississippi High School, Moore High School in Moore, Mississippi. And I got to see him. He played defensive back, wide receiver, quarterback, running back. Wherever they needed it, that's what Jerry played.
During his career, Rice broke 18 Division I AA records. But NFL scouts were leery of his small school pedigree.
Cooley's offense threw the ball a lot, intentionally, and Rice became the centerpiece. Year after year, he posted numbers that were jaw-dropping for that era, seasons surpassing 1,400 and even 1,700 receiving yards, when the college game still leaned run-heavy. Those totals forced scouts to pay attention despite the FCS label. On film, the technical stuff jumps out. Crisp stems that created separation in a heartbeat, a consistent release that avoided jams at the line, and hands that caught through contact. He ran a complete route tree, fades, comebacks, slants, posts, all executed with pro timing, not just raw speed.
49er wide receiver Jerry Rice, with a great deal of pride, the sleek third-year pass catcher, rewrote the NFL record.
Jerry Rice, he went to Mississippi Valley State from 81 to 84. At one point, he had the record for most receptions in a game.
Rice also ran track, which explains his conditioning and burst. but his competitive edge and work ethic were the differentiators. Pro scouts worried about level of competition and whether his timing would translate against NFL cornerbacks who had longer arms and heavier press. What sold teams was not just yardage, but the repeatable technique. Toe pointing on sidelines, catching with hands away from the body to avoid hits, and finishing routes with separation steps. By the 1985 draft, those traits mattered more than a shadow of doubt about competition. The San Francisco 49ers saw a receiver who could fit a timing offense instantly, and they picked him 16th overall.
San Francisco 49ers select 16th pick in the first round, wide receiver Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley.
That pick would look like a steal because he had already done the hard part, turned raw skill into a repeatable pro process. Jerry Rice's transition to the NFL wasn't a fluke. It was fast because he arrived ready to work. The 49ers under Bill Walsh already ran a timing-based offense that rewarded precise routes, quick anticipation, and receivers who could sell stems and break on cue. Rice fit that like a missing piece. His rookie tape shows a player who immediately buys into structure, crisp release against press, instant timing with Joe Montana on short to intermediate patterns, and a competitive edge that shows up on contested balls. He didn't need to win purely on speed. He won on technique, reading leverage, adjusting breaks by inches, and finishing with hands that snatch footballs out of traffic. That early chemistry with Montana was crucial because the West Coast offense lives and dies on timing. When Rice matched Montana's cadence, defenders suffered. Film shows how his releases created separation in the first two steps and how his stem would freeze corners an extra half beat, enough to turn a 6-yard completion into a 20-yard gain after catch. Coaches also noticed how he attacked third downs, reliable hands, route depth control, and the knack for finding soft coverage in zone. That rookie maturity accelerated his climb. He went from prospect to starting weapon quickly because he already possessed the practice discipline and micro-mechanics most rookies lack. The late 80s were where Jerry Rice stopped being a promising player and started rewriting history. From 1987 through 1989, his impact escalated into dominance. You can watch game after game where Rice turned short timing throws into chunk plays, where defenders who tried to bracket him still couldn't stop his mastery of angles and leverage.
To Rice, one-handed catch, oh my, is he inbounds. Lewis Billups there and Rice.
In 1987, even with the strike-shortened season, he produced elite numbers. By 1988 and 1989, he was the receiver opponents built game plans to slow down and still often failed. The Super Bowl 23 drive against the Bengals is film room gold. Rice's timing and route depth on that sequence created separation that opened up Montana's windows. Across those seasons, he averaged insane catch rates on third down and in clutch pockets, and he turned contested situations into advantages by using body positioning and hand technique to shield defenders from the ball. Teams tried safety brackets, press jams, and double teams. Rice countered with minor adjustments. A toe pointed a degree earlier, a shoulder lean to sell inside, a tiny fade that created just enough space. Those little changes are why he kept piling up yardage and why 49ers' success and his production were inseparable. The offense trusted him on the decisive plays, and he rarely let them down.
To Rice. One-handed catch. Oh, my. First down, another throw. Jerry Rice. Touchdown, San Francisco. Montana hits as he throws, and Jerry Rice still on his feet. Finally dragged down at the 46-yard.
The work side of Jerry Rice's legend isn't an exaggeration, it's foundational. Stories about him running routes in the dark after practice, catching tennis balls to sharpen soft hands, and doing ladders to improve foot quickness are accurate and crucial to understanding his edge. He drilled stem techniques until they were second nature. The inside-out snap that freezes the corner, the micro adjustment off a press that gains half a step, the toe placement on the sideline that keeps him inbounds. Rice treated every rep like a game snap and tracked angles and leverage with near military detail. Coaches from his era describe him as the guy who took extra film study, who mapped opponent tendencies and targeted weak leverage and secondaries. That kind of repetition is what turns good routes into perfect timing. It removes variance. Physically, he prioritized conditioning, which paired with his hand and footwork allowed him to run crisp routes deep into games and seasons. Mentally, he was obsessive, note-taking, route tree breakdowns by defenders, and constant refinement of releases and body control. Those habits explain how he sustained elite production across seasons that wore out other players. From 1990 through 1995, Jerry Rice piled up numbers that forced the league to pay attention. He posted season after season with huge reception totals, yardage, and touchdown counts. And he did it while defenses repeatedly schemed specifically to stop him. That peak combines volume and efficiency. He was targeted often, and he converted targets into consistent production. Specific seasons stand out. The early 90s, where he posted 100-plus catch years and produced massive yardage totals. Rice got a steady diet of targets because he commanded trust from his quarterbacks and coaches. That sustained volume paired with elite catch and separation techniques created a statistical mountain. When you boil it down in the film room, you see a repeatable recipe. Technique drills translate into separation, which yields targets, which yield production, which in turn creates more opportunities. That virtuous cycle is rare, and it's why modern analytics still use him as the baseline.
That Rice on that play has the 10 yards, and that is a historic catch.
Jerry Rice should know. He's caught so many passes, he has the record for records.
From 2001 to 2004, Jerry Rice graced the gridiron in silver and black.
So it was an honor, and it's something I'll never forget. You know, the San Francisco 49ers will always be a big part.
The ripple of Jerry Rice's approach shows up in every level of football today. Coaches teach his releases, his stem mechanics, and the toe-pointing sideline technique in camps and clinics. Quarterbacks and receivers pair up to build timing drills that mimic what Rice did in practice, run the route to a metronome, split the cushion by fractions of a step, and catch with hands extended to absorb contact. College programs and pro staffs emphasize route polish because Rice proved those micro skills produce macro production.
Pump fake by Montana, launches it for the end zone. Jerry Rice! Oh, what a catch by Rice!
Legend of the Bay. It's an honor because I feel that I had to play for the fans.
Rice added his 13th Pro Bowl to his resume, and overall helped the Raiders earn 2 playoff berths.
Reawakened to hard.
Well, by Jerry Rice. He gets the win. It's a foot race. They won't catch him.
Players who want a pro path copy Rice's drills, ladder work for foot speed, tennis ball hand reps for soft hands, and repetition under fatigue to simulate late game scenarios. His influence is structural, not just in stats, but in how the position is taught and evaluated. That transfer of knowledge is part of why his legacy keeps growing. He didn't just set records, he left a coaching blueprint. Off the field, Jerry Rice built an image of professionalism and quiet competition.
Helped San Francisco reach their 3rd straight NFC Championship game against the Cowboys.
Nicknamed World for his amazing catching skills, Rice is considered the best wide receiver ever.
Great signing.
With future fellow Hall of Famer Tim Brown, Rice formed a powerhouse duo.
Rice is still the best wide receiver that ever played.
He parlayed his career into business ventures, mentorship, and charity work, and he's widely respected in NFL circles as an example of preparation and consistency. The Pro Football Hall of Fame induction in 2010 was a capstone that acknowledged not only his numbers, but his influence on how the receiver position is played and coached. Rice's post-career presence in camps, speaking, and mentoring keeps him relevant to younger players who want to learn the recipe for longevity. The human side matters.
Nicknamed World for his amazing catching skills, Rice is considered the best wide receiver ever. And
I love it when some commentary would refer to an upstart receiver as the next Jerry Rice.
$1,895 yards.
He's a player who turned obsession into craft and then into a public example many young athletes still study. So did an overlooked college receiver really break the most records in NFL history? Yes, through obsession, technique, and relentless work. Jerry Rice's story proves that elite habits beat hype. His records blend peak seasons with durable performance across decades, and his tape still teaches how to beat coverage.
Different positions, there isn't anybody that is anywhere near Jerry Rice. And he had a work ethic that goes back to when he was a child.
Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I want to thank you all for the love and support. The channel has been growing quickly and I can't thank you guys enough. So if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep film study, and tell us in the comments which Jerry Rice moment is your favorite. Thanks for watching Under the Helmet. Keep loving the game.